Hey, yeah, ne. I'm sure Gogo Matshiqi, wherever he is sitting back, feeling so vindicated, feeling so powerful that his words came to light and his words came to pass. Whatever is happening to Floyd in the MK party, guys, Gogo Matshiqi once predicted this would happen exactly the way it's happening. He once spoke about this in the podcast with the great legendary Shivambu. He spoke about Floyd's intelligence being a threat to some of the people within the MK party because many of them are just illiterate. But it wasn't direct like that. But I want you guys to listen to something. This is very powerful. It's powerful. Listen to this.
With someone like Floyd, there comes a time when intelligent people worship the intellect. This tendency is at its worst when they start worshipping their own intellect. Once they start worshipping their own intellect, they are on their way to conflict between them and those who are threatened by that intellect. This is what may or may not have happened to the EFF, to the relationship between Floyd and Malema. Now, managing that kind of relationship, as I said, requires a lot of maturity. A maturity but may not have always existed in this relationship. Now, the fact that certain gifts of leadership reside in Julius, not in Floyd, may not have meant that Floyd has no great ambition. In other words, his ambitions are not limited to being a backroom guy who influences the content of policy and strategy. To your point about the personal in politics, I think we can safely say that at some point personality clashes, overtly or otherwise, do emerge between the two. And the EFF becomes too small for the two of them. And therefore one of them has to exit. Now, if I'm correct with some of these suppositions, Floyd is going to run into the same problem in the MK party. His intellect is going to be the source of conflict between him and others in the MK party. I remember listening to an interview between Tim Modise and Thabo Mbeki's mother. And the last question he asks Thabo Mbeki's mother is, what advice would you give to your son? And Mrs. Mbeki says, he must listen to others. He is not the only one who has ideas. Others have ideas too. I would give the same advice to Floyd Shivambu. Otherwise, his time in the in the MK party is not going to be a good time.
So you can't tell me whatever is happening now is not what Gogo Matshiqi is explaining in that clip. It is. We all know. He was right. We all know. It happened exactly the way he said it. Of course, there he was also speaking about the departure of Floyd from the EFF. He was also speaking about things like maybe the EFF was becoming too small for both Floyd and Julius Malema, and Floyd wanted something else to challenge him. Floyd knew that he can't be a president of the EFF. He will just have to remain the DP of face, being demoted from the DP position when it comes to NPA. So it could have been anything. Maybe his ambitions were bigger than just being a DP. because there's no way he was going to be the deputy president of the EFF, the president of the EFF. So Gogo Matshiqi was speaking about that. It was during the time where Floyd had left, and he was also speaking and trying to come to a proper, clear understanding as to what if maybe Floyd's intelligence and his intellectual was the reason why he left the EFF, because he has the intellectuality, he has the intelligence, but he doesn't have the character Julius has. And he also spoke about maybe Julius didn't have what Floyd has in the brain and the articulation of the thought, but Julius had something else Floyd didn't have. So maybe these two were clashing in that way, in that sense. And he goes ahead and says Floyd is gonna have the same problem when he goes to the MK party, whereby his intelligence is gonna be so much to the point whereby he feels like he's gonna self-praise. He feels like he's the only one who can do it. And in the MK party, there's gonna be people who are gonna be threatened by that. There's gonna be people who are gonna be feeling so heavy burdened by this man coming with such convictions. As much as I can say whatever I wanna say about Floyd, I can't say Floyd is stupid. I can't say that. I can't say Floyd is not intelligent. I can't say that. I can't say Floyd can't speak and make people understand. I can say he's a guy who betrays his brother. I can say that. I can say maybe he's a liar. I can say that maybe he gets misled easy. I can say that. But I can't say he's not smart. I can't say he's not intelligent. I cannot say that. So, I agree. His brains became a threat. But was it just because it became a threat, or was it because of what Gogo Matshiqi is saying, which was also proven by Mary Padi in one of the interviews? And this was also proven by Thabiso in one of the interviews, and this was also proven by Phumlani Mfowaka in one of the interviews. The same thing Gogo Matshiqi said. He said that Floyd, his intelligence will make him become full of himself. Guess what Mary Padi said? Floyd was jailer. Floyd is too prideful. Floyd doesn't greet people because he feels like he's the man. Same thing said about by Mfowaka. Same thing said by a lot of people around the MK party. But we are jailer, pride, and all of those things. Gogo Matshiqi said these things. Guess when? More than 9 months back, Gogo Matshiqi said these things. It's happening exactly like this man said it would. I feel too. I'm waiting for the next interview of Dr. Shivambu Wash and Gogo Matshiqi, because that will be so powerful. It will be very powerful interview with everything that has happened now, with all the developments happening now. You, ziyakhala, you. Some people are gifted in skills of analysis. Some people are just gifted. They just have it in them. They have it in them. You, I have never seen. There's no one who has ever predicted Floyd. There's no one. It's just Gogo Matshiqi. Other people are just warning him about President Jacob Zuma, but they never went to the extent of explaining how Floyd's intelligence and his pride will be his downfall, because it will intimidate other to no ways. Yazin, let me just leave it at that. Shout out to Gogo Matshiqi. Shout out to Dr. Shivambu Wash. Floyd Shivambu, my man. Abaklolile bakshanga ngamathambo bafind out ukuthi things will happen the way they are happening now. Hi mama, you. This is what it is, guys. We thank you very much. Danko.